So you're noticing you're having neck pain, headaches at the gym or lifting stuff, being active, and you're like, man, my neck is really killing me. I feel like I'm weak, right? You can't hold your head up, all that stuff. So what would you do? Let's talk through a framework that I use with a ton of people to help them get back to things like that. So if you realize, for example, you're doing an overhead press and your neck is all over the place, you're like, okay, something's going wrong. There's a few things that I would start to work on. One is you can do isolated exercises like your classics, chin tuck, prone isometric holds, and those do have a place, especially if you've identified some really isolated weakness, and that would have to be probably done by a physical therapist. That being said, I'm not a huge fan of just laying down and doing as many chin tucks as you possibly can. For me, the more practical and important way to start strengthening your neck comes down to a really 3-step process. So say you want to get back to doing an overhead press. The first thing is you need to be able to find your neutral position or your starting position. If you have a ton of postural issues and you can't get into this kind of wall hold position and you're starting here, it's not going to help to start loading that movement a whole ton. So once you find neutral, which is the first step, you need to be able to complete the movement with good technique without any weight. And once again, that's going to have a mobility and strength requirement. So until you can kind of get to that position and you have the isolated strength and mobility to do that, it's not a good idea to load the movement. That 3-step technique of find neutral, hold it while you move, and then load the movement is something that me and Dr. Madison are going to talk about in a webinar coming up. So if you're interested in that, make sure you check out the webinar.